I'll begin by asking anyone, uh, do you have any thoughts on the previous session, or does anyone want to give us a? This is a good idea. Does anyone want to give us a summary of the experience last time? I guess we could talk about the fictional events. What happened?
I think I can give somewhat of a summary. We first we were what we said trained. We got information of what have happened to the crew before and what we are to suspect before we go in. We did our separate parts where I searched for information. Ola spied on Helma but did not succeed. Helma
On Nathan, but that's okay. Go
No,
ahead. Yeah.
on Nathan.
Oh,
Yeah.
on Nathan. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
I don't remember what Helma really did, but
I memorized a map over the city.
Oh, that's right. And you know what? I accidentally gave it to. I gave it to Emma instead of to you.
Oh, I was confused.
Yeah, I'm sorry about
Okay,
that.
I'll take a look at it now
Right,
because I didn't look at it because it was
Right.
sent to Emma.
I know. Okay. I can tell you this last week has confused me badly on many different levels. But okay, so the characters had the opportunity to use some time that was available to them in this unusual facility and community where they are all strangers and they are all here for this job. So as Max said, I believe the parts that I remember that are relevant here is that two characters investigated using their sneaky skills. And maybe that's why I got confused, because I think Nadia did as well as Claire. They both
Yeah,
snooped around.
I
Right. You
think I
listened. Right.
listen on somebody.
Now, both of you discovered important information, but you have not shared it with each other. And the listening role was so awesome that I gave a lot of information about one team member who apparently seems as though he actually may have stayed on Xenos on purpose and betrayed the rest of the team, or at least that's what Mark thinks. Then Helma, in your investigations, learned a lot about what they had found, I think. I mean, what they had seen or done on their mission, I think.
I
think it
basically
was on
just
geographically
right
about the place.
Right. And then Mark, didn't Margaret do some investigating too?
she searched for information and got information on this character who stayed.
Right.
Personal notes.
Right. And I forgot to mention something that should have been in that information, so I will tell you now, which is that while he was studying the trans-ego device and was trying to repair it and make a new one, it exploded and he was horribly burned. So this person is very badly deformed, much more so than Margaret, for example. So it's kind of interesting that Margaret, who also has been burned in some kind of explosive accident, learns about this guy who has these terrible scars and, much, much worse. So that's part of his history. One thing that these are his personal notes, so you don't know. One person asked during play, which was a very good question, if his mind is still on Xenos, then where is his body? And that's an excellent question. That
I think I asked that, but I referred to the old scientist, the one that came
right.
there
Yes,
from,
and you did. Right. You asked it about Isabella Bain, who disappeared in the 1940s. So,
but it goes the same with others.
Yeah, and Does anyone else want to talk more about what you did? Either Nathan, his independent activity was to try to talk with the executive of the base of ISIS, but he didn't get very far with that, I think. And Ola, you were sneaking around trying to spy on Albert, but that didn't work out very well for you either. So that side of things didn't go too well. What else happened? We'll get to play in about 5 minutes or less.
I think. I mean, the most memorable thing for me was probably being trapped inside this strange body and shouting at each other and feeling each other and being like that was. I mean, for me, that was a more chaotic experience than I'm used to in a role playing because we were. I mean,
yeah, we were kind of stuck and couldn't get out of it.
And I think we all
not
realized
a bad situation.
The empathy
we
also
all realized.
Mm-hmm.
We all realized what we can and cannot do in those cases, and what it means to have these psychic abilities, and
most of them are pretty weak. You may have noticed too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you
that was
felt
an interesting definition of weak.
Well, for example, there were 2 attempts to manipulate time that didn't work. The psychic blast that Claire produced, I think it was Claire, was a particularly interesting one because it specifically, I mean, if it was based on willpower, and it was the 2 very leader type characters though who were hit the worst. So something was weird about that that I'm not explaining. Let's move into play. We have the 5 of you in these beds. We have the staff who monitors you there. And we definitely have, I mean, this is really an important thing. It's the second major jump they've done. And they even have, I mean, there's going to be somebody there that wasn't there when you all left. And that person is known to Nadia. His name is Jimmy Rimsky. He's a Russian-born, naturalized American who obviously works for the Russian Secret Service and is the person you report to. And so that's the person who pays you. That's the person, you give your reports to. It's the person who's working directly with ISIS, but they're present right now. He's a young guy who looks very American in all of his clothes and attitude. So nobody is oriented, I think, well enough to completely assess the whole room when you open your eyes, but people come around and check you to see, that, for example, a monster is not looking back at them or something like that, and which they're kind of afraid of. They're afraid, you're going to come, the mind that comes back isn't going to be you. Hasn't happened, but they're afraid of it. So they're checking, and asking your name and stuff like that. And they're not scared of anything. So they just start, unstrapping the straps just because they were there to keep you from hurting yourself when you came back. And we know that Claire just heaves herself straight up off of her little hospital semi-bed thing, whatever that is, and, starts going toward Claire, ready for, with fists up. Claire, at this point, somebody just, unbuckles Claire and then looks over their shoulder and it's like, wait, what's going on? It's completely up to Helma now to decide what to do, if this was just a brief statement or if this is a major action she wants to make. Anybody else, also, same thing. This can be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Helma, tell us what's going on.
2 things. Just Claire is going to try to get to Margaret.
Right.
And I'd like to know a little bit about the distance and whom I move
Well, in that case,
by, because
we have 6
I think
beds. Right.
my intention is pretty clear, so everybody should have a chance
Exactly.
to maybe
We
find.
have 6 beds, and they are arranged in a circle around that big pillar in the middle of the room. And so, Max, roll a 1d6, and Helma, roll 1d6, so we know which bed you're in. So, for example, bed number 1 is between 6 and 2. So,
6.
Yes.
Max?
Oh, that. 5.
Oh, they're right next to each other.
Glorious.
Yeah. So anyway, so there is Claire, and the only person there is some technician that might be right at the moment. You know, she's talked to you, she's done. Now she's going to go and help help Margaret. Okay.
So she's up.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think so. This is where should we make quickness rolls to see who goes first?
Can I? I wanted to try to persuade her, but I guess I have to.
I said quickness rolls to see who goes first.
Shit!
What
My
do I
die.
look at when doing quickness
That's
rolls?
okay. Go ahead, Ola. Yeah.
You know what I like? To have so many die in my hand. It's such a nice feeling.
It's well known.
What's the quickness roll? Is it the agility? Is the means?
Quickness is a skill that is
Quickness
under
is quickness.
agility. Yeah.
Under agility. Well, I have no quickness, so it's only 2 dice. So I'm
Okay.
gonna die.
Mm-hmm. That's why you went last down in the sequence too.
Yeah, I got 0. So,
we are in our underwear without shoes. You're not going to die.
That's true.
I like my fingers. I like my toes. Claire is going to be the same. I have an amazing result.
Okay.
So I have a catastrophic.
Oh no. All right. So Claire, I'm going to say that what this means is that you are still in the straps, and you are just not able to even, hardly be able. Catastrophic is really bad. So,
no, it's the other way around.
Oh, I keep saying Claire. I mean Margaret. Okay, I'm going to have to put like big signs on you. So, in that case, Helma, please make a roll, the relevant roll, if you would like. And it is true that Claire is going to use her dice for I think it's unarmed combat. Is that correct? And then for Margaret, we haven't had a physical conflict in the real, on Earth. They're both real. Xenos is not a hallucination. That's one thing I can say. All of your characters are completely agreed upon. This is not a hallucination. This happened. And so the thing I'm trying to say, though, is that you will get a base of 3 dice, max, but you also get some dice that are based on your agility. All right? And so at this point, I am not going to tell you all the rules for it, because there are little strange options. I'm just going to tell you, do you have a dodge skill?
Yes.
How much?
There are no boxes, so agility 4.
Agility 4, that's fine. So you may add all of these if you wish. The only bad thing about using these dice is you only get to use them once in a round. So if you are being shot at by 4 different people, you may want to put 1 more die in each defense, or put them all in one. Do you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. But this is against a single attack, so you might as well put all 4 in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many times she's going to hit me also.
There's plenty of time for other people. Before we go with that strike, does everybody does anybody else want to take part in this? And I'm particularly interested in asking Albert.
No.
Okay.
It was just a joke.
That's not what I meant. I mean, does Albert want to help?
No. Albert is perfectly fine with that is going on.
Okay.
What? Yeah, kill each other. It's okay.